Okay, so we're going to talk about rationalizing surds today, but before that, let's revisit our difference of squares. So if you have a plus b into a minus b, and if you expand, you'll end up with a square minus b square, and that's the difference of squares. It works both ways. Right, similarly, if you end up with something along the lines of 2 plus root 3 times 2 minus root 3, it'll work as 2 squared, which is a, which is 4, minus square root of 3 whole thing square will end up with 3, which is 3, and you get 1 as your answer. So that's if you have something called, if you take a surd and multiply it with its conjugate, and you end up with well, an integer and a number which has no surds in it. It's a rational number instead of an irrational one. So let's just quickly do some conjugates just to see how it looks. So if you had, let's say, 1 minus root 3 as your surd number, what would its conjugate be? It'll be 1 plus root 3, right? If you had, let's say, 2 root 3 minus root 5, the conjugate would be 2 root 3 plus root 5. So where do we use this? Now, one of the things, as I said earlier, is rationalizing surds is when we try and get the denominator to be a rational number and not an irrational one. So let's have a look at a simple one. For example, example 1. Let's rationalize something along the lines of, let's say, 3 over root 5. So if you want to rationalize, all you do is you multiply this by 1. So how do you multiply it by 1? You multiply it by root 5 over root 5. And that will cancel to give you 1. So the top will be 3 root 5. And the bottom will be, if you multiply root 5 by root 5, you end up with 5. And that's how you rationalize a simple surd. How about if you have something along the lines of, let's say, 3 over 1 plus root 2. So what we do is we look at the bottom and we multiply it with the conjugate of the base, which is 1 minus root 2 over 1 minus root 2. So the top would be pretty much straightforward, as in 3 bracket 1 minus root 2, and you can multiply then expand that. The bottom would be a square minus b square, just like from there, which would be a squared would be 1 square, which is 1, minus square root of 2 whole thing square would be 2. And therefore, if you expand the top, you end up with 3 minus 3 root 2 over, this will be 1 minus 2 will be negative 1. Therefore, that will equal to negative 1. And you can bring the negative 1 on top, end up with negative 3 plus 3 root 2. And that is how you rationalize a surd. Okay, cool. Right, thank you for listening, and I'll try and make some more skill-based videos. Thank you.